And Young Buzz, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that I think really shows why Twice is more than just a K-pop group with catchy songs and pretty visuals. We're going to talk about each member's personal journey, the grind before debut, the survival show battles, the career paths they've taken since, and even some of the challenges that went way beyond music. By the end of this video, you might see your favorite member in a completely new light, and I want you to tell me in the comments which story hits you the hardest. Let's start at the very beginning, before Twice even existed as a group. Picture this: 9 people who didn't even know they'd end up in the same team, each walking their own unpredictable path toward one room in the JYP building. Some were scouted in the streets, some at dance workshops, some came from Japan's dance schools, and some worked their way in through open auditions in Korea. For example, Jihyo's story is legendary in the K-pop world. She was scouted when she was a kid and spent 10 years, yes, 10 years as a trainee. That's like going from elementary school to college without ever knowing if you'll get the job you're training for. She's talked about how exhausting it was, how much pressure there was to fit a certain image, but also how it shaped her to become Twice's leader. And honestly, when you think about it, surviving that long without giving up says a lot about her mental strength. But I want to ask you, if you were in her shoes, would you stick it out for a whole decade not knowing if you'd debut, or would you have moved on to something else? Then there's Momo and Sana. Both came from Japan, but through totally different doors. Momo was spotted after a dance video went viral. Imagine just posting something online and then suddenly a major company wants to fly you to Korea. But her journey wasn't smooth. She was actually eliminated from the survival show 16 before debut, only to be added back later because of her insane dance skills. Talk about a plot twist. Sana, on the other hand, trained at EXPG in Osaka and was originally gearing up for a Japanese targeted group, but that plan got scrapped. She still pushed forward, joining 16 and winning over fans with her bubbly personality. And speaking of 16, this show was basically the pressure cooker that introduced Twice to the public in 2015. 16 trainees competing, being ranked, and sometimes publicly eliminated on national TV. It was raw, stressful, and a little brutal. Park Jin-young originally planned to debut just 7 members, but he ended up choosing 9. That's how Tsuyu and Momo got in. Tsuyu for her fan popularity and visuals, Momo for her unmatched dance performance. That decision caused a lot of debate back then, and I'm curious what you think. Was it fair to add eliminated contestants back in for the sake of group balance, or should they have stuck to the original format? Tsuyu's journey deserves special attention. She moved from Taiwan to Korea as a teenager, leaving her family behind, which is already a huge emotional leap. But on top of that, she faced something no trainee is ever really prepared for: politics. In early 2016, she was caught in a geopolitical controversy just for holding a Taiwanese flag on a TV show. The backlash was massive, and she ended up having to apologize publicly at just 16 years old. Can you imagine? That incident didn't just affect her, it also impacted Twice's activities in certain markets. I think it's a stark reminder that foreign idols face a completely different layer of pressure. Do you think companies do enough to protect their artists from situations like that? After debut, the 9 members started branching out in different directions while still keeping the group as their main focus. Nayeon launched her solo music career and became a huge force in fashion endorsements. Mina and Jonghyun dipped into acting and variety appearances. Dahyun and Chaeyoung took their creativity into songwriting, rapping, and variety show hosting. And endorsements? These girls are everywhere. Beauty brands, fashion houses, lifestyle products, sometimes as a group, sometimes individually. It's a smart way to build their personal brand while keeping Twice's name in the spotlight. But here's something I think fans really feel. Even with all their individual success, Twice still operates as a tight unit. I think a lot of that credit goes to Jihyo's leadership. Being a K-pop leader isn't just about being the oldest or the loudest. It's about keeping 9 very different personalities and schedules working together without losing the group's identity. She's had to be the communicator with management, the emotional support when things get rough, and the person who keeps morale up during exhausting world tours. That's a lot of weight to carry, and I don't think it gets talked about enough. What I love about Twice is that their differences actually make them stronger. You've got powerhouse dancers like Momo, steady vocal anchors like Jihyo and Jonghyun, variety show aces like Dahyun, and global faces like Tsuyu. Each one brings something unique, and because their pre-debut stories are so different, it feels like they've all fought their own battles to get here. Now, I want to throw a question to you. When you look at your favorite idols, do you prefer ones who've had a perfect path to debut, or do you connect more with those who've had struggles and setbacks? For me, it's the ones who've had to fight a little harder. There's something about seeing someone overcome obstacles that makes their success hit different. In the next part, we'll talk more about how these individual stories not only shaped Twice as a group, but also changed how K-pop approaches global markets, leadership roles, and even mental health awareness. Because yes, Twice's influence goes way beyond music charts. Stick around. This is where it gets even more interesting. Let's keep going with our deep dive into Twice's member journeys. Because honestly, the second half of their story says just as much about who they are as idols as the first half. We left off talking about how each member's unique background made Twice stronger as a whole. Now, let's look at what happened after they debuted and how their individual paths shaped the group's image and global reach. One of the most fascinating things about Twice is how they've been able to enter different markets so naturally. Having members from Japan like Momo, Sana, and Mina wasn't just luck, it was a strategic advantage. When Twice promoted in Japan, those three could connect with fans in their own language, which made the group feel more approachable and relatable there. And then you have Tsuyu representing Taiwan, bringing in a massive fan base from another key market. But here's the thing, it's not just about speaking the language. These members have lived in multiple cultures, and that gives Twice a broader understanding of their fans' perspectives. Do you think having foreign members is now essential for a K-pop group aiming for global success? Or can groups still go global with an all-Korean lineup? Let's zoom in on some post-debut developments. Nayeon's solo debut was a huge moment, not just for her, but for Twice as a whole. It proved that even outside the group, she could command massive attention. Jihyo followed with her own solo music, and the style was noticeably different. It leaned more into her vocal strengths, showing her versatility. I think these solo projects are great for fans because they give you a closer look at each member's personal style and artistry. But there's always the risk that too many solo activities could pull attention away from the group. What do you think? Should Twice keep expanding their solo projects, or should they focus more on group comebacks? Mina's journey post-debut is another important one. She's known for her elegance on stage, but she's also been open about taking a hiatus for her mental health. That was a huge moment in K-pop because it brought more awareness to the fact that idols aren't machines. They deal with anxiety, burnout, and personal struggles just like anyone else. Mina's honesty about her condition earned her a lot of respect from fans, and it might have even inspired other idols to be more vocal about their own well-being. Do you think the industry has improved in supporting idols' mental health since then? Or is there still a long way to go? Jonghyun's story is similar in some ways. She's taken breaks for both physical and mental health, which again reminds us that the glamorous life we see on stage has a lot of pressure behind it. Fans have rallied around her every time, and I think it's strengthened Twice's connection with Once because it shows mutual care and understanding. And then we have the variety and endorsement queens, Sana, Dahyun, and Chaeyoung. Sana's charm on TV is legendary. Dahyun's quick wit makes her a favorite on variety shows, and Chaeyoung's artistic creativity adds a unique flavor to the group. These activities aren't just extra work, they help Twice's brand stay visible between comebacks. Plus, endorsements are no joke in terms of influence. Seeing your bias on a cosmetics ad or a high fashion campaign creates that extra sense of pride as a fan. Now let's circle back to Jihyo as leader. In many K-pop groups, the leader's role can be mostly symbolic, But with Twice, Jihyul's leadership seems very hands-on. She's the one managing group dynamics, supporting members during tours, and representing the group in high-pressure interviews. After 10 years of training, it feels like she was built for this role. I sometimes wonder if Twice's smooth teamwork over the years would have been the same without her. What do you think? And Tsuyu, her growth is one of my favorite parts of this whole story. From a shy teenager caught in a political storm to a confident performer who's comfortable on variety shows and in front of international audiences, she's proven that resilience isn't about never facing challenges, but about how you respond to them. Watching her evolve has been so rewarding for fans who've been there from the start. When you put all these stories together, the decade-long training, the sudden controversies, the health struggles, the solo ventures, it paints a picture of a group that's not just polished, but battle-tested. Twice isn't just successful because they have catchy songs and cute concepts. They're successful because every single member has fought to be here, adapted to challenges, and found ways to grow both individually and as a unit. So here's my big question to you before we wrap up. Do you think Twice would still be the same group we know today if their pre-debut and post-debut journeys had been easier? Or is it exactly these struggles that gave them the drive and chemistry we see on stage? All right, that's it for today's deep dive. If you've made it this far, thank you for spending your time with me. Drop your thoughts in the comments because I really want to know which member's story inspires you the most. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next K-pop breakdown. This has been Anyang Buzz, and I'll see you next time with another story that pulls back the curtain on the world of K-pop.